This is another episode of Becoming. This is the podcast from the bodybuilding businessman and entrepreneur Ryan McGough. That is me. This is my monthly thing that I do for you. And I think really, it's not became. It's not that I'm finished. It's not that I'm here. Truthfully, like I'm walking this path right alongside with you. I should be evolving. I should be growing at the same time that I'm doing this and putting it out there with you. I'm definitely not where I want to be. I have a lot left to go. I really do. I have been in a really challenging and tight spot where we've grown business from one flip per quarter to like 3 to 5 flips per quarter. So that is on the same resources, myself and a small team that I have. It's on us to do more properties, to manage more contractors. When we have the same type of problems that we had with one, now we have 3 to 5x those type of problems. And it's still because the capital hasn't come in from this growth period, right? It hasn't come in from this expansion. So it's the same resources doing X amount more than we used to, which is very challenging. It's very hard. The other way to do it is if you just get a bunch of capital and now you have raised this money and you get to do it. I'm always bootstrapping, so I'm always growing a little bit more and a little bit more. And as we get the return on that growth, then we can start to grow and expand our team. So we're always using our team to expand just a little bit further than what we used to do. And at the same time, I'm bodybuilding, right? So like I'm very low energy. So this is going to be straight to the point, straight to this from the source, like straight to what we need to do, what we need to focus on. No BS, man. Tough love, like for real. This time, it's not about, a happy, positive, tell everybody it's gonna work out for everybody and everybody's just gonna win and succeed and we can, work as hard as we want and then we can turn it all off and watch TV and movies and maybe focus on our dream and our goal, like, once a week in some little moment of time and work, our normal jobs and we're just gonna be handed things and it's not the case. We have to live in the struggle. We have to get comfortable in the struggle. And most of us don't want to do this. So for real, most of us, should be really thinking, why am I even wasting my time on this? Because I know I don't put the work in. I know I don't have the vision. I don't have the faith that that vision is going to come true, right? We talked about in the first few episodes, we talked about opportunity, right? As the population grows, there's going to be more opportunities. As there becomes problems in certain areas, there's going to be more opportunities to solve those problems. So it takes somebody who's just willing to do the work, willing to look at what the problems in a certain industry are and start figuring those problems out, and then having enough confidence to actually go and talk to the right people and start the company with the bylaws and all of that stuff, which is really not that hard, and then take this entity and go out and sell it, make it happen, or raise capital for it, right? It's really the two options. And so most people are not going to do it. They don't want to do that. They don't want to put the work in. They'd rather just live. And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't, right? But if we're talking about here, how to truly become the person that we want to, I know everybody in here, everybody listening, everybody wants to become that person. They know. And that's the first step, is I know even right now in this moment of time that I'm not where I want to be yet. Like I have a couple more months, but I know I still have some fat in certain places. Like there's some good leanness, good striations, but I'm not near where I need to be. And actually this fourth bodybuilding competition, I know that the guys who are the pros, the Olympians, like all of that, all of those groups that are way ahead of me, they know, and they've been in the struggle so many more times and efficiently monitored themselves and efficiently took action and had the faith and all of the things that we have to do to be successful. They did that and they do it more and more. And the first show, you have no idea how lean you can truly get. You have no idea how much you can starve yourself. You have no idea how much muscle you can actually keep. And then that happens the same way the first few competitions. So I need to keep staying in the suck, to keep living in a starved environment and pushing through it and resisting the temptations day in and day out. I need to do it more times and more times and more times. There's no natural. Nobody just leans out and is just totally the perfect form that they ever wanted to be. It takes time and repetition and starving yourself in a different way. This time I'm carb cycling a little bit. Last time I just went straight balls to the wall, took all the carbs out very early on. You know, I was 50 grams of carbs like at 3 months. So it's a different process. If I want a different result, I have to do a different process. So I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat a lot of the things. If you want to become something then you're not, you need to do something different than you've ever done before. The process needs to be different this time to go after that thing that you've never gone after, or that you've gone after and it hasn't worked out. So something needs to be evaluated within ourselves. So we have to be humble and say to ourselves, the first step to anything is admitting that I am not there yet. And it's a tall thing to realize, but it's also a little bit it's a little bit humbling, and it's a little bit like a stress reliever. Okay, like I'm not there. I have work to do. Great. So let's figure out what that work is. Let's go after it. And then when we're going after it, that's work. We're going after it. We're working, right? We're not going to be working all the time. There's a time where we're not working. When we're not working, that's when we have to be up here and be strong in our faith and in our vision. That's the part that people really have struggled with. They can start the company, they can work, they can make the calls, they can get told no, they can do all that, right? But then when they get their time and their moments where they're not working, where they have to be in a moment of reflection or vision, how strong is their mental capacity going to be for this vision when it looks like nothing is making any sense, when you can't pay anybody back and you've got investments, when the projects are working out terribly, when it all seems like it's falling apart, and it seems like at the same moment in time you lose money here, this contractor walks off site, this contract that you thought was amazing stops, and all of a sudden all of your income and everything that looked like it was coming in at the same time, it all gets shattered. Then what? Then what are you going to do? Because it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. And anybody who does not talk and focus and concentrate and say to anybody who they're trying to help that this stuff doesn't happen and won't happen, they do a disservice, because it is. I mean, it is a struggle at times. Now, there's times of summer where it's harvest time and everything's coming in and everything looks good, and a contract hits and payments hit and they keep hitting, and you have a abundance of capital, and you're thinking about where and when to put this capital and deploy it. And these are the fun times, man. These are the, if you're taking profits and quarterly profits and that kind of thing, you're like, whoa, what is my profit percentage? Oh man, look at that amount I just put into another account. But those times, they're just a portion of the time, right? And I would say probably more of, if summer is just a fourth of the year, that time of summer where those things are happening in that same way is probably 1/4 of the time throughout your whole business career. So the other times, that especially in the beginning, I would say probably in the beginning, it's like 95% struggle, and then got some capital, pay off everything that we just went into debt for, and figure this thing out and solve this problem, and we have to market twice as hard. So all of these costs in the beginning, they're going to things that don't even have a return on their investment right now, or it's something that we can't really see yet because we haven't accomplished it yet. So like, these are the true aspects of business, and this is why nobody wants to do it, because most people are just going to do it for 1 to 2 to 3 days. Most people, they might do one bodybuilding competition. Oh yeah, hey, you look like you're in good shape. I used to do bodybuilding. I did one competition. I can't tell you how many times I hear that, and I'm just like, show me all of these people in all these industries that keep doing one thing. I started one company back in the day. I did that, right? I'm not talking about starting multiple companies, but I'm just saying I'm never going to be the person who says I started one company. I did one bodybuilding competition, right? And that's why I'm here on this podcast, and we're going through this together, because I'm not the most qualified at all. In fact, I probably am the least qualified, and I have had a past that only 1% of people have had and walked through and made it out to the other side. So I already know that if 99 people or 100 people watch this show, that there's probably one person that has a past or went through things in the same way that I did, right? I don't have the Tony Robbins. I don't have the, some of these guys that did, nothing wrong with that, that just had pretty average backgrounds. I'm in the group with like Eric Thomas, man. I'm in that kind of background, right? So I can relate to the things that he says, and he's passionate about it, and he is where he is too. So if you're just even listening in here to any of these people, any of these people who get up here, right, instead of just judging and sitting back and waiting till the podcast changes the name to Became, or I'm finished, I already made it, and then I could tell you my story about how I got through it. Maybe just listen to the words that I'm saying today and do the things that I'm talking about, because there's enough opportunity. Your content, your business, whatever it is, it needs to be heard. There's a group of people who are sitting out here looking for something new, looking for something that you're willing to put out there. You might have experience in a certain field for 3 to 5 years plus, right? You might be an expert in that field, but you're doing it for somebody else. So like, when is the point where you say, you know what, maybe there's not enough opportunity, but guess what? Maybe if my vision is strong enough, I can go do that thing that I wanted to do. Right. And so I'm here to tell you that's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with reality. Right. How many businesses fail? How many of this? How hard is real estate to get into? How hard is telecom? How hard is government contract? Like, I don't even care about those numbers, truthfully. Like, of course, I made an informed decision when the time came to do what I do. And that's really all I need to see. I need to know what the market looks like or what things to buy, right? But that's just minimal research. I'm not going to sit here and focus all of my time and energy on the statistics of how hard things are in life, of how hard it is to become a professional bodybuilder, of how many businesses fail. Like, I'm just going to do the next thing that I need to do with the most effort and the most efficiency in that. And I'm going to hold my vision and my faith that it's going to work out, that whatever the case may be or whatever it may look like now, there's always another opportunity. There's always a tomorrow. There's always, one call, one person, one big thing, big contract that we can hit, and everything changes, right? I can't tell you how many times I've been in a low spot, a low point like we are right now, where the money's all gone, we're down to our last dollars, we have all these irons in the fire, but none of them are really coming back when they're supposed to. And one thing just hits and a contract comes back, and it's like, oh wow, that $10,000 or $500 or whatever it is I had no idea about just came out of nowhere and kept us alive. Like, it's never happened that we haven't got to a point of a dollar or whatever it may be. And I'm thinking of how we could pay everybody and how we can do this, right? It's never gotten to that point and there's been no solution. If anything, what's happened is it's a very beautiful thing that happens, is you get more resourceful, and all of a sudden the challenges, the struggle, everything puts you into a corner and up against the wall, and we have to be more resourceful and find out what the next thing is, where the next dollar's coming from, where the next partnership is, where, whatever the case may be, what is going to help us get to the next step and the next level, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm not saying I have all the answers. A lot of myself, I didn't believe that I could even be in this type of arena. So it took me probably longer than most people to finally look at my habits, my workout, my work ethic, my diet ethic, and start to be like, whoa, hold up. I work harder than everybody else. Hold on. I plan better than everybody else. Hold on. My visionary skills and my skills of self, motivation and thinking about where I want to be and my habits and checking and taking a look at my habits and my behaviors and my attitudes and all that, my inventory of myself, these are very strong. Okay, most people don't do that. Wait a minute. So I start to judge myself on the things that I'm doing and I'm capable of doing, and realize I'm in a very small percentage of people that actually do this stuff, actually set goals, actually read the books, right? All of those books are right there. That's the stuff that makes me qualified and more qualified to start that company, right? It's not my education. It's not, those things are great. They're very good, right? Being an expert in a field because you've been in that field for more than 5 years, right? That's very solid in terms of starting a company. But guess what? That you're not going to be the engineer. You're not going to be the salesperson. You're not going to be the construction guy. You're not, right? So like we're not all going to be all of those things at the same time. So to some degree, you can be an expert in one thing or that field, and you just still have to focus on the strategy and managing the people and putting the business plan in the right place, right? And that means you would never have been an expert in every single category of the field of the company that you start anyway. So you have to do some of the things that you know how to do, learn some of the things you don't, and put the right people in places that take on the tasks that you're not so good at, so you can be an expert in the things you need to be an expert in, right? But it takes time to do that. It takes focus to do that. It takes first having that vision, and then second having the faith that that vision could come true. And as that stuff starts to happen in your leisure time, whenever, like in your moments of relaxing, like that vision and that faith have to stay strong of your goal and what you're going to do with your life. And if you can do that, then all the other stuff comes, right? All the other stuff comes. You just need to make that decision, go after it and get it, and start to realize that like it is not going to come. It is not going to just come and be handed to you on some silver platter. We always talk about it. Everybody that I listen to when I wake up talks about it. You have to show the world, you have to show the game, you have to show the industry that like you are not giving up. They're gonna laugh at you. They're gonna tell you no. They're gonna write you off. They're gonna do all of that. The universe and the industry that you're in is not gonna just let you in easily. You have to step in there, stomp your feet, walk in there tough, get mad, start to realize they've been writing you off and that you have a place and you've earned your spot here, and you have to do that in your actions. You have to do that in the amount of calls. You have to do that in the amount of relationships. You have to do that when they tell you no, we're not interested, right? And that's the stuff that is challenging, right? And I don't just do it in one place. I do it in the physical place. I do it in the spiritual place. I do it in 2 different businesses. Not to say I'm better than anybody, but I'm just saying, like, show me somebody who's coming out here super fit. Show me somebody out here who's bodybuilding. Okay, great. So then show me that same person that's starting businesses, right? And then show me that same person that's investing in real estate. Like, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I think I'm well qualified to do this podcast and tell you that your difference between where you're at and where you need to be is your vision, your faith, and how hard you're willing to work, right? And it's just as simple as that. And I probably sugarcoated it way too much in these last podcasts, but this time, man, 18 minutes in and I'm about dead of energy, and I still need to hit the gym today. And man, I'm sub 100 grams of carbs. So that means, and I only eat my carbs in the morning. So that means I already ate my carbs. I might have about 20 to 30 grams of carbs left, and that's after the gym. And then it's salads and meats for the rest of the day. So I don't have time to sugarcoat it. I do not have time to tell you that you have time to keep not following your dreams. If you see that vision and you feel that and you can close your eyes and you know where you want to be, you know what it looks like, you know what it smells like, you know what it tastes like, right? Maybe it's on the beach, you're here smelling sunscreen and smelling some, nice meats on the grill or something like that. It's some shrimp or something, whatever, it's that drink at the bar of the, the tiki bar down there. Whatever that smell is, whatever that vision is, whatever that feeling is, you need to grab a hold of that. You need to never let it go. And what gets you there to live that life? Like, what does that look like? And then work backwards on that. But 20 minutes, that's well enough, man. I think I left you with a lot of things. There's enough space in the world for you, okay? Just take some courage to go put out there and go do what you want to do. And there's enough people out there that are going to follow and get on board with the things that you need to do. So you need to do that thing, right? We all do. And as the population grows and the things that make it easy in life grow, it's going to do two things. It's either going to make us get too comfortable and we don't even need to do anything, or it's going to make us work harder. So the space is going to divide even further. Comfort versus hard workers. And my girls are waking up, so I got to go. Peace.